Oh, he's got Ghost.
So Ghost, Cleanse on Fang makes sense. stage2 taking heal.
Yeah, Aftershock on Kaiwing.
Yeah, maybe it was TP on the Smolder. We'll see how this lane goes. I have no idea how Gragas Senna works. Probably just farming. stage2 should be fine. He can just skill a dash if he needs to.
Sure can, and taking a look at runes, nothing all that surprising.
Yeah, only variance we've seen in the Ahri runes has been First Strike into Sylas.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised by Second Wind against Cassante.
Yeah, seems like Cassante's trade pattern, you know, you'd want bone plating against it, but can maybe just poke off your bone plating. Yeah, I think
maybe you just don't even care about that. I think maybe it's just better to go like Overgrowth or something.
Oh, yeah. And just not worry about the lane.
Well, yeah, you never really are. I mean, every time we see this matchup, for about like 5 minutes, Renekton's just standing in Cassante's face at tower,
yeah,
proccing Demolish.
We've occasionally... Cassante is picked into the Renekton almost every time, but we have seen that this matchup can go very poorly for the Cassante if he makes mistakes early. Same is probably true for the Renekton. We just haven't seen it go that way.
Yeah, I think we did in the DFM series, right? We saw Day5 FAK getting punished on the Renekton against the Cassante.
Okay. Though, I would expect Cassante's win condition just to be go even in this lane, and then you have so much more impact in team fights. So very high priority comp from Beyond, where, especially in the solo lanes, where you can just path to bot if you're Husha, protect your bot lane, and as long as they can't set the Smolder behind, your other lanes should be fine with how strong they are as laners on the Talia and Renekton. And then get your Smolder to stacks, you know, wait for 20 minutes, and you should just be winning every fight from that point on. We've seen how strong Frank's mid-game is, though, so it might just be easier said than done.
For sure.
I think you want a very extended lane phase this game if you are Beyond.
Nice work by Feng, just getting himself these stacks bit by bit.
Yep.
Shouldn't be too hard to be hitting a Gragas.
1-6 taking a very strong trade into Jimmy. Has sustain in the kit on the Ahri. And running low on mana as the Talia. So probably won't amount to much, but on the Talia she can always just pull kills or summoners if the shove lands at the right time. Gemini, though, looking to flash onto 1-1-6. No cleanse or anything.
Yeah, here we come. Charm is going to be flashed away from, so that is going to be a very vulnerable Talia now. Yeah,
no sums committed from the side of Frank either. Is going to be horrifying for 1-1-6. Oh. Almost gets the shove.
Default side, while not very comparable, this will also be a fairly easy lane for Eminem to be stacking up as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't see the Senna stacks having as much impact, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard to notice. It can come through just the additional range, and it's definitely, I mean, it's just harder to notice than an execute, isn't it? That makes a loud sound.
Yeah, Senna is a very high impact champ. It just isn't always that visible. Gemini is going to beat the brakes off of Husha, who might just have to flash here.
Yeah, this is not particularly close. Yeah, there's going to be Husha flashing away, but Gemini follows him. First blood given over now to the Volley Bear, and he's going up top. Driver is, for my money, way too far up in this lane. Does have flash available for himself, but kind of doesn't feel like he needed to have used it if he had just backed away.
Yeah, the wave was coming to him as well, so... And Xiang was very low HP, so he could have maybe punished Xiang there and not lost his flash. So frustrating start of the game as... Yeah, we've seen invades into a Volley Bear go about that well when it does happen.
Yeah. Husha, though, passed back out his top side, and Weaver's wall coming through now from 1-1-6. No Jimmy anywhere nearby, and so Gemini is just going to be taken out. It is a trade now, eventually.
Yeah, okay, well played by 1116, who was very low. Must have chunked out. Jimmy and both mid laners' TPs have been down for a while, it looks like. And, you know, a level lead on your mid laner doesn't hurt. So, yeah, Husha just getting absolutely destroyed by Gemini on the Volibear. And you're kind of just guaranteed dead there. Even if you flash, he's always going to follow with flash. I guess you at least get the Volibear's flash off of him, which is going to protect your laners. And this is not conducive to the long, extended laning phase you want as Beyond this game.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's going to be first Dragon of the game going over to Frank nice and early, so they will have that win condition available for themselves at about 21 minutes if they do continue to get these Dragons on spawn.
Yeah, at least the kill goes back to Husha.
Yeah.
And bot lane, surprisingly, the Udyr has a reasonable... sorry, the Gragas has a reasonable CS advantage.
Yeah, maybe just the pressure from Eminem making it a little bit harder for Feng at times. Well, I think all things considered, Smolder should be fine. Should be a pretty easy lane to navigate.
Neither jungler is level 6. I wonder if Husha's close. Doesn't look like he gets it off the crab, and this shouldn't really amount to much of a fight. Didn't we see Gragas versus Rakan at some point? I feel like I remember Sword Art baiting a lot of Gragas-E's in some matchup. And Feng could be in trouble here.
Yeah, hold on. Eminem plays forward, lands the root onto Feng, and Gemini is here. He's going to land the stun. He's got the disable for that tower. And I said it was going to be an easy lane, but not when this Volibear just crashes down on you like that. And all of a sudden, Feng finds himself with a grey screen.
Yeah, I think Gemini got the level up just walking through his bot lane. So, pretty impressive play. And Feng uses his cleanse a little bit early. Means he's going to lose out on a massive wave and all the stacks he could be getting with it. So, should slow down the Smolder.
We saw Gragas recently, right?
Yeah, it was in the CFO series.
It was?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it Kaiwing?
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember Sword Art playing Gragas.
No, Sword Art was Rakan into Gragas, so it must have been SoftBank. Vista.
They didn't play against SoftBank. That was
PSG.
That was PSG.
Maybe it was Woody then.
Oh, I don't remember. I do remember seeing a Gragas.
I remember Gragas Rakan, I feel like. But it wasn't a Gragas Senna lane. It was just a full-on Gragas support.
Yeah, I do remember that too. Well, I'm not sure.
So
all I remember of recent times is a Yasuo from the support.
Yeah.
And it kind of popped off. Oh, back to life. Feng, he's in a world of trouble yet again. Dawning Shadow comes through, and Eminem's now found himself a second driver on the top side as well. He is not long for this world, as All Out did come through. That flash was not yet available, and it's just another kill coming over to Frank.
Yeah, this early cleanse from Feng ends up hurting him, though he may still just go down here. It was a nice flash from Eminem to catch him in the Senna stun or snare, and both sides of the map just falling apart for Beyond. Husha not really able to find anything, but has a lot of farm at least.
Yeah, Husha doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, so is 1116 in terms of farm.
Yeah, the problem,
has the Weaver's Wall again.
The side lanes are just collapsing on.
Yeah.
Minute and a half now on the second Dragon, and with the current state of the map and relative strength of champions, you do have to feel like this should be Frank's to pick up as well.
Yeah, and the problem for 1116 with how much prio he can get and how well he's doing in this lane, his plays are still very telegraphed. He's never going bot. I don't think you ever kill this Gragas. You can maybe kill the Senna while her flash is down. But it's still scary to dive the Gragas Senna lane. Gragas with just so much disruption.
Absolutely, and Seismic Shove will be dodged away by Jimmian. Off top, Jung no all out, so this never really will turn into an all-in, but Definitely getting the better of these trades at the moment.
Yeah, just look at the items.
Oh, Husha, he's found himself in the middle of everyone, but with the Weaver's Wall coming through, it's actually now Frank that are in trouble as Kaiwing's going to get stunned up. He's living, he is living, but he's not going to live long enough. It's a double kill now found for 116, and we said he was doing well in terms of CS. Now he's got himself an extra 2 kills on top of that gold.
Yeah.
Heartbreak also being used here. Jimmy's going to have to use that Spirit Rush. Does land the charm. Gemini in the area. No one here. That Battle Dance not going to be available for stage2 as Husha did walk off to the mid lane, but he is going to be okay.
Yeah. Frank may be just overplaying their hand a little bit. They are very strong in these 3v3s, but it's never a 3v3 with the Talia on the map. And they know Husha is here, and Husha very decisively just goes on this flash with Senna immediately. And the flash onto 116 is exactly who you want it on at this point in the game. And Jimmy continues walking down here, and it's never really going to amount to anything.
Oh, Dragon was being looked at here for BYG as we go back to live, but it's not going to be found as it's going to be the shutdown coming through. The Dragon picked up from Gemini, and that Battle Dance just getting stage2 in range to get himself out of that Dragon Pit. He also has to flash and heal afterwards as Jimmy was waiting for him on the other side. Jung and Driver going at it on the top side, but Driver getting the better of that trade, and Jung's going to have to recall and teleport back to lane.
Yeah, and contesting this Dragon means that Beyond Feng is going to be denied more.
Feng's trying to get back to lane, but BYG, they're going to have to do something to help this Smolder. They're not able to do it.
And now it's
just
Husha.
go down, and Husha has found himself under that tower as well. Kaiwing tanking up, Proxy Aftershock. Absolutely no worries whatsoever. It's now Frank with a sizable advantage in terms of kills, 4K as well in terms of gold.
And yeah, Beyond are just starting the Dragon once Frank are all on the map. Very risky. They don't win in a straight-up fight. They did manage to get a team fight win, and 116 eats a charm here, no flash up. Oh, he does flash, sorry, and still goes down to Jimmy, and Stature ends up losing his flash too. Luckily, he does survive. Nice placed Q from Jimmy. And yeah, another maybe just unforced error out of Beyond. Misjudging how quickly Frank could respond to this Dragon. Where Smolder would really love to just be sitting in lane, stacking up. He's forced to go to these fights. And then gets denied. You know, the biggest pain is that he just gets denied off a massive wave or tries to walk up and gets dived. They do get Gemini's flash for that, but he'll be very happy to pick up a double kill for his flash.
Yeah, absolutely. Now having the Knight's Vow available on this Volibear. Feng is once again under constant pressure in this bottom side now. Eminem with a massive chunk there onto the health bar.
Yeah, Senna very strong at this point. Opportunity already finished for Eminem. And Gemini's
here. He has his ult. Through comes Mum. We'll see if Gemini's able to find his way in. It'll be a 3v3 if he is. Eminem is trying to get his way to the play. Weaver's Wall comes through. Jimmy is here though. Won't land that charm. And they are going to all walk their separate ways. It was just the explosive cask there for 3 ultimates coming out of BYG.
Yeah, and you can probably just dive again. Jimmy is going to get this wave in. Doesn't have teleport, though, if 116 does stay down here, so his team has to play carefully. Yeah,
Grand Entrance used here for stage2, but he's actually the one that's under a lot of pressure. As Kaiwing trying to enter into this fight. Nice. Stormcaller is going to find its way onto 116 with a Scattered Earth. Kaiwing as well on the bottom side is going to find himself a kill. Nice Grand Entrance once again, but he is going to go down. There's one more use of the Spirit Rush. A charm could just seal the deal. He lands it, and Eminem, one more auto, gets it. The flash, the heal. Everything is coming up, Frank.
Yeah, completely one-sided fights that Beyond are honestly opting into. They didn't get dived there. They just went for the fight themselves, and the fight was going on so long. Both top laners managed to hold hands, walk themselves down to the mid lane. And yeah, I guess they do have the Talia here, so they feel like they can maybe fight, but this is a reach of an engage onto the Volibear, who still has ulti anyway.
Yeah.
Kaiwing's able to walk right past Feng on the Gragas, and I mean, they turn off of Husha onto 116 to kill him, and Kaiwing is still able to pick up the kill onto Husha. Stay True goes down. I mean, they lose the maximum here, Beyond. bunch of summoners, all their ultimates, and all 4 still go down without a single kill traded back. Lose their tower while they're at it.
Yeah, from bad to worse for Beyond.
Yeah, 5k gold lead almost now for Frank.
Yeah, 15 minutes in. They've also got 2 dragons. This Smolder, I haven't seen his stacks rather, and even when I do, I dare suggest it's going to be very, very lackluster, as this has not been an easy game.
Yeah, at this point, I almost don't want to see the Smolder stacks. I'd rather not, but a nice lane assignment here from Beyond means that 116 is into this full armor Cassante and can just take a tower.
It is something that's answered back on the top side with Rift Herald, but a tower for Rift Herald is always worth it.
Yeah. So Feng has at least 125, which means he's not doing horribly at 16 minutes. He's actually on 150, which is perfectly acceptable.
Damn, yeah, I guess it's just from hitting a
Gragasol game.
There's been a lot of fights, and he has been kind of the last to die in all of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, has been dying. Otherwise, this would be a very, very accelerated Smolder, and is probably going to have to ult this wave if they want to hold on to their tower.
Not going to be able to. Weaver's Wall, though, coming through. Eminem gets himself on the safe side of it. Now, Dragon, it is the Chemtech Soul. Not the most impactful, but, you know, taking less damage and doing more always feels pretty decent in some way.
Yeah, very tanky champs, too. So they're going to have a lot more HP to play with if they do get the Soul.
You remember when they first created Chemtech Soul?
And it rezzed you?
Yeah, it was just 5 people with Scion ult.
Yeah. And the worst part wasn't even that. The worst part was the map.
True.
The map just giving everyone Rengar ulti if they were in the jungle. That was incredibly unpleasant. Another nice lane assignment from Beyond, actually. Is going to mean maybe another turret picked up.
Oh, I think they have to be careful here. All out comes through. Stage2 going to use that quickness. He will be alright to get on out of there. And they do pick up that tower. It's going to be answered back here in the bot side, though. Frank make pretty quick work of the Beyond's bot side inner.
Split 4 ways, though, versus split 2. You're going to like that much gold onto your Talia.
Yeah, but it wasn't inner versus an outer.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my God.
Bright side for Beyond, though, is that Feng was just sitting in the mid lane, farming and hitting the tower that whole time. 170 stacks now, almost. And he is going to be very scary once he gets his stacks on the Smolder. It's just, maybe this Ahri and Senna are too big now for him to deal with in these fights. We've seen when the enemy AD or mid get fed, they can just one-shot the Smolder before the execute on his Q really matters in any fight with him. So you've still got to find some way to stall this game if you're Beyond. I don't think it's the biggest deal if you give up the dragon, but you have to find something for it. Maybe a pick on the other side of the map or a turret.
I think importantly, Smolder has to be involved in it.
Yeah.
3 minutes he has now to try and get 50 stacks. It's a pretty tall task.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be in shape to contest this dragon, and I think you maybe even consider just giving it. But again, yeah, you need to find something to justify just giving up that dragon.
Franca looking to be the ones on the aggression. Quickness comes through and a lot of CC. Kaiwings ended up in a place where he probably would rather not be, but the flash will get him out to safety now as Driver's getting very, very low. All out comes through, and all of a sudden, there is a stage 2 in the middle of your team. Nice two-man root found from Eminem as Feng, it does remain full HP. He's going to have to flash Eminem. That was a massive amount of damage coming through from that singular auto attack that will be able to take down 116 on the Talia.
Yeah, this is a massive Senna doing this much damage in team fights. Jimmy in as well. They have to do a lot of damage in these fights, and they're pulling it off. As you see, Smolder is just not there yet. He was fighting this whole time. He was hitting this whole fight, and it just kind of feels like Beyond maybe don't have the discipline to play these Smolder comps, as Husha is just engaging onto Gragas here. They land a reasonable combo onto the two frontliners of Frank, but Smolder isn't at the point where he has any impact, and once Jiang shows up, the Smolder is not doing much to him. And, oh, Feng gets his mid laner killed. with the Senna
Yeah.
W onto him. Eminem seems so accurate with those. That was a very unexpected amount of damage. Maybe that was a crit.
Yeah, it had to have been. I refuse to believe that wasn't a crit.
Maybe he knew he was due for a crit.
Yeah. He punched the numbers.
It was a Blood Song opportunity auto. Might not have been, honestly.
Was Opportunity still going? Surely it's off by then.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, Gemini.
Feng does have cleanse, no flash though. No ulti to clear this wave, importantly. Losing the tier 2 really sucks for the Smolder here. You have to worry about Baron now, as any hope of mid-prio is just gone.
Yeah, he has hit 225. Well, 220 is what it sits at right now, but that is, for all intents and purposes, especially if a fight breaks out here, going to hit 225.
Yeah,
It's just Dominus used, doesn't actually get anything in return, so bit cooldown.
Yeah, Beyond are going to look. He's on exactly 225 stacks on the Smolder, so is kind of ready for a fight, but he's also 1.5 items versus 2.5 on Ahri, 2 and a bit on the Senna, and still very tanky members.
Okay, this
on the side of Frank
is a desperation.
This is pure desperation, yeah. And Gemini is onto it.
Yeah, BYG will get off. I mean, you got to try things, right? You are very, very far behind. They realize it.
Yeah, especially Frank of overcommit to the dragon side of the map. You can maybe sneak that. You don't have the fastest Baron, though.
Yeah, it is improved once Spear Shojin comes through full Smolder, but until then, you are very, very definitely lacking in damage.
No flash on Feng. This is terrifying.
Does have cleanse.
Might be Statru's in trouble.
Maybe Driver.
Yeah, it takes
just leaving,
half his HP.
Yeah, just leaving base. He's going to have to recall and teleport now to this dragon.
Yeah, no flank wars for him on the dragon side of the map. There is on the Baron, so maybe Beyond just walk towards the Baron.
Oh, nice. Seismic shove. They're not really doing all that much damage, though, to the Scraggus. The teleporter's coming through now. The Smolder ult as well, and Kyming is going to go down. Execute should come through now. Feng picking that one up for himself, of course.
Yeah.
They are now 4 strong versus 5, going to be going towards this Baron.
Yeah,
I don't think they can do it.
You got to look at it, though, if you're Beyond. You might not get an opportunity this good again.
Sure. Kyming not going to be able to get back there. No teleport available for him on the Scraggus. As 116 has found a shove onto Jung, but he's able to get his Pathmaker through to deny any CC from landing. Now, Driver, wow, this Eminem is doing so much damage.
Yeah, and you just don't tank the Baron all that well on the side of Frank, I think, is the problem they ran into there. Driver takes a bunch of damage from the Baron and then another chunk from Eminem. There's going to be the Quick Blades on the Smolder. I think everyone's preferring the Shojin.
Yeah, I guess he just wants his flap more often, but will be less damage.
Feels like it barely matters on this champion. You've got your stacks now. You should be a threat in team fights. Whether he's going to get the actual time to kill these tanks in team fights, we'll have to see, just because the Senna and Ahri are so accelerated that, and he doesn't have much of a frontline to speak of. So he might really just, his frontline might just go down too fast for him to do anything in these fights. No Baron, at least for Frank, means that they're not going to be able to siege up against the Smolder at all. They have to find a pick and the Baron. Though there's not all that much threat onto them if they just hit the Baron. It's not the fastest Baron, but it does start a fight if you start hitting it, and Jimian is looking to cook up a pick on the Ahri.
Yeah.
It's on vision.
Reaver's Wall comes through. Frank, are they able to find their way in? Q3 from Jung will go wide as Jimian has got chunked fairly sizably, but it's Husha who goes down first. One reset coming through for that Spirit Rush, but a shutdown as Jung does go down to Feng on the Smolder. Kyming, though, he is still menacingly looking forward. Gemini as well, he's just running on in. CC will not connect there for Eminem, but he is able to land some damage on the way out, even blocking the Steer Axe.
Yeah, this is the scariest Senna we've seen, I think.
Oh, yeah, I don't even think it's close. Eminem is far and beyond doing the most damage out of any Senna we've seen.
Udapon has been the most impressive Senna otherwise, but it feels like Eminem is playing so aggressively on this pick and doing so much damage, as Smolder is well and truly online. And kind of a miracle fight for Beyond. They find a very good engage onto Jimian, forcing him to play passively. Speaking of...
Oh, that charm just missed.
Yeah. Feng, Nerves of Steel. no juke, just walks in a straight line, manages to get out of the Ahri Charm.
That's probably. I think he probably didn't even realize. You know. Like,
yeah, he was in fog. They were both in fog, I think. So, yeah, very nice to get to hold on to both of your sums if you're Feng there, and it's going to be nice for these Baron fights that I think Frank will just be incessantly starting.
For sure.
And the important thing is just to not lose the fight too hard if you're Beyond. Losing the Baron is kind of fine. But every fight, every one of these long drawn-out fights is more stacks for the Smolder, which do matter. It's not just
Jimino's going to land the stun onto Driver. Let's see if there's any follow-up that can come through for it. Bing is going to dodge out of that stun, but the charm lands on the Driver. Sterex is once again procced. Through comes Mum, through comes Weaver's wall, and Eminem's on the wrong side of that wall. What damage can he do? He's pretty long range. Now it goes down. He will be able to walk forward once again. Even lands the snare here onto 116. Dawning Shadow as well, and that's the Sterex gone. All of a sudden, you barely have a Talia anymore. Feng still remains at full HP, but his front line is entirely out of health.
Yeah.
Baron on the cards for Frank. See what Beyond can do to respond. There is teleport for both those chunked members.
Yeah,
no
they do have a ward.
Though.
They do have a ward at least on Beyond, so they should see that the Ahri's not here hitting the Baron and approach very carefully. It's also not going to go down all that quickly to the Senna. And
yeah, it is going down slowly, but Jimmy-in, he does have his ultimate available just now, and through everything comes. Gemini's in the middle of everyone. He's going to have to use that Stormcaller to get himself out. Jung, though, can he get the all-out through onto Feng? He's getting chunked. Seismic shove onto Kaiwing. Oh, God, we have a Smolder problem. Husha goes down, and Feng still remains very high in HP. Q3 will only just go wide as Flat does come through, and the Orb of Deception will not get that kill onto Driver. Jeez. And somehow it's a 1-for-1.
These fights are so scary for Beyond. Feng is having to play on a knife's edge to get this much damage out. Frank are actually TPing onto this, and they're doing it again. I think they were spotted by Beyond, though.
Yeah, and Driver and 116 managed to hold on to their teleports in that last one. 116 not even going back to base, so we'll still be here for it anyway. Young does have all out still. He wasn't able to get it off in that last fight. Snare comes through onto Driver. Driver, Dominus will now be procced, and they're trying to find the damage. They're turning away from this Baron yet again. Through comes Mum. It's going to land well onto 4 members. And through we go. Kaiwing will once again get this Baron started. Jimmy-in, he's going to recall, does have teleport available for himself, but I think with that, with Driver going down, it is now going to be this Baron
Elder in 30
eventually.
seconds. They should have time to do the Baron and walk down. They won't get their bases off. And
Driver can't be there on spawn.
Beyond are just going to recall. I think they should just hold position on this Elder. But they do just recall.
But Driver can't be there.
Oh, right. Yeah, they do have time to get down to the Elder. This is a problem for Beyond.
Driver spawning pretty much same time as this Elder, a little bit behind, but no teleport available, so it's going to take him an extra 20-ish seconds to get himself to the Elder Dragon. And by that stage, Frank might have just such firm control over it that it could be problematic. He is now spawned, he is walking, he is in the bot lane as things are currently. Jimmy-in can actually use that Spirit Rush, doesn't really find a whole lot. But the slow coming through from Husha, Jimmy-in charm lands, that's onto 116, and this Talia is an absolute goner. Driver may have just arrived, but just as his Talia does go down. And so 4v5 charm onto Feng. Smolder does get that flash away, but Eminem is flashing to follow, and so is Gemini. Both carries now are down. Dawning Shadow won't connect onto anyone, but the vision it gives is good, of course, as Frank are trying to find their way now into this middle lane. Obviously, Jimmy already being there, committing that teleport, and Driver cutting the second wave, but they do have a wave. They have a lot of tanky members, and only 116 really to do damage in about 10 more seconds. Crypt Bloom now finished on that Talia.
Yeah, I think this might just be game. They don't have all that much tower damage without a traditional ADC. Eminem does a whole lot more damage to champions than towers. Jimmy-in should be doing plenty. 10 seconds on the Smolder. This is going to be close.
Yeah, Nexus Tower number 1 now started to get hit. Jimmy-in has got once again Spirit Rush available, and 116 spawns, and 116 does go down. Now all out, Heartsteel may be coming through. They are going to find the one reset, but in that time, it is the Nexus being taken, and Frank now up 2-0 in the series.